I think, we're all here because as different as the disciplines are, obviously it's all to do with horses, and you share many similarities. Chester, do you draw on other disciplines, and do you learn from what you see with endurance, and your wife obviously being a show jumper, and you've got the show jumping here coming up this weekend, and I know that you want to bring an event here as well to the Live Oak CDI?
I learn a lot, and I have people on my team or who help me and work with me in the stable who ride my driving horses. So that's a piece of them. They get lunging work. They get work that sort of is really for them. Some of the best, anecdotal teaching I've ever seen or heard with regard to the cross-country training really stems from jumping training. That's been really helpful to me, and as my wife's been sort of continuing her education through that, I continue to like to talk to those masters and understand that, and then try and apply it to 4 horses in front of a carriage.
And David, you talked a lot about applying other sports techniques to your coaching now that you're a coach. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I think one of the precepts is that certainly in my sport, and I think in other sports, I don't think we teach our fundamentals in a systematic way in this country like other sports do, or more like a systematic way than they do in Europe, where they have centuries of schools, of Warendorf places, or Samur, I really see a weakness at times that we don't teach our horses, we don't teach our sport in a systematic way at the early levels, at the fundamental levels, and so really, I think in this country we have to look at how other sports teach themselves, right? tennis and soccer and baseball. So it's really the coaching from those things is very systematic in some ways, all the way from the time that the child is 8 years old, all the way up until they're going to go into the Final Four here in basketball. They're going to go into Final Four here in another couple of weeks. It's very, very consistent type of teaching, so it's seamless going from one level to another, I think. And I don't see that in our sport. I think jumping is probably the closest in being a little bit more systematic to it. And I really think that is something that we need to address here in this country across disciplines, is about putting syllabuses together that are teaching as people come up as amateurs or as children, that the system is consistent from the top to the bottom.